Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Stories Around Azeroth. As always, I'm Pete, Titans Greed Nevercoat, joined by the most benevolent gnome this side of Orgrimmar, because that's where all gnomes belong, not where the goblins were in the tar pits, but the gnomes should have been there instead. One, Mr. Frazley TC.
Are you trying to get rid of me?
No, I'm trying to say that instead of taking up space in Ironforge, you should be in the tar pits of Orgrimmar.
Oh, with all the smelliness of the orcs, because like
Are you being racist against orcs right now?
That
sounds very Hordist right now.
That's where all the orcs go to fart so nobody knows, because of all it smells already bad there, so it just adds
disgraceful behavior. But joining us, it is a pleasure and an honor to be joined by the stony faced one himself, one Mr. Stone, otherwise known as Stonegrasp. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, and I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to be. If anything, I should apologize. I'm sorry. You're here.
No,
I'm glad you're here.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, thank you for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure. God. Like, as I say to a great many people, like, I try to make the show very much about hearing voices of people around who play Warcraft, rather than less of a news show and more just chatty nonsense, which is fun because I can talk about Warcraft. I'm sure Frazley can talk about Warcraft, and most of the guests can talk about Warcraft. So it's always a pleasure to have somebody new on and give on their viewpoint of bits and pieces. But as we always start with, what have you done in Azeroth in the last week? And Mr. Stone, as the guest, I'll leave that in your hands. What have you been up to in the last week, sir?
The last week?
Well, you haven't been on before, so you can go all the way back to when you started playing WoW if you really want, but that's probably a lot to say there.
Well, back in 2004, I lined up at lunchtime on my lunch break, and I got the copy of World of Warcraft, and the guy at the store actually gave me crap because I didn't line up the night before, and I was lucky to get a copy, even though he had 30 copies stacked up that were not claimed in behind the desk. F you, man. Anyways, okay, so doing a lot of mount farming, and my goal and my focus for the last little bit has been the 4 Mists World Boss mounts and the wow, what is going on there? Oh my god, you're putting my stream on. I am so sorry for people that are seeing this right now. Very sorry. And I was also working on Blackrock Foundry.
Yep.
Multiple attempts. I think we got up to 592 attempts on a 1 in 100 chance drop.
Jesus.
So yeah, about that. You know, some people are saying it's just bad luck. And I agree. I could absolutely have bad luck. I have had great luck. I got Pawn Nettle on my 20th cast. It's fantastic. Wow. Like, boom. I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to fish anymore because I'm not a fishing guy. I was just, okay, just get out of there. So, done. But Blackrock Foundry, back in January of 2019, Blizzard came out with a hotfix that said when you are trying to do attempts on mythic bosses, your chance will be based on the maximum size of the mythic raid, which is 20. So earlier we knew that the chance of it dropping was 1 in 2,000, similar with Siege of Orgrimmar, which I was trying to get that mount from there, and there's no skip there. Anyways, so when they made that fix, so in theory, you are now supposed to have a 1 in 100 drop. I got the Siege mount within 2 months. Great, cool. Blackrock Foundry eluded me for a year and a quarter, roughly, until Blizzard came out with a fix. Sorry. They did not say it was a fix. They said they increased the drop rate of the Blackrock Foundry mount, as well as the Nighthold normal mount, as well as something else. This was a couple months ago. I call BS on that. I say they fixed it because I think what they were trying to do is that I think what they did is when you ran in on Mythic and it was a 1 in 2,000 chance, when they said it's going to drop as if you were a full raid, I think what they did was that they gave you 20 rolls at 1 in 2,000, which in the long run, yes, the math is 1 in 100, but we don't have 100 years to make that math work out. I would much rather have one roll at 1 in 100 than 20 rolls at 1 in 2,000. I have done the math. It took, when I ran the script through my server, it actually took, until it balanced out, it was over 100,000 attempts. So that's one character running through, right? And I had, at the time, I think I had 23 characters running per week, and it's not dropping. So there was something wrong. So I wish that they had said they fixed it, because I think they fixed it. I think they actually made it 1 in 100 and not a increased chance.
Yeah.
So
that would explain
but
a lot.
Yay!
Yeah.
So when it finally dropped, oh wow, it got sunny out. Or we're about to get nuked or something. I don't know. The cloud just went by. Okay, now it's getting darker out. So anyways, if it's a nuke, well, it's great being here. I mean, I'd rather get nuked than die from COVID.
It'll probably be...
nuke is instant. COVID is going to take you a while.
No, it probably would be down south, not in Canada.
Jesus.
Russia's coming after us. They want our land, so,
Well,
okay.
In terms of Canada, at least you will have to deal with just ash and not snow, which I've heard is a big problem in Canada.
Snow is a problem. We've actually still got snow flares. Anyways, so when the mount finally dropped, I swore, and I couldn't let my kids watch me get the mount, and I kind of...
Which one was this?
This was the Blackrock Foundry mount. So, okay, when they made the fix, I got it that week. I got it on the 3rd attempt.
Jesus.
That, like, the week of the fix. Like, are you kidding? Yeah.
So you've moved most of your attempts to Nighthold then, I'm taking it?
Not...
Or just...
Okay, I can do my main. I can run my main through Nighthold is pretty easy. I've got another character which you're showing right now is my eye level 400 rogue. I can get through that on normal. The other characters I want to get through on normal first.
Get the skip.
To get the skip. And I tried doing mythic on my max character, which is eye level 4. I want to say 460.
Okay.
And I can't Death Knight unholy, and I can't kill Croesus. I don't have enough DPS apparently to kill him off before I die. Croesus is the bridge boss where he slams the bridge and it breaks the bridge in 3 segments. I can't get over that hump yet, and I can't get the augur, the guy up in the top.
Yeah, Star.
I can't quite get past phase 3 into the final phase 4 kind of deal. So there's a bit of a curve there. I was kind of hoping that when Blizzard announced that they brought in legacy loot, that they were also going to be bringing back the damage buff, so you can kill things.
Oh,
but they did not.
I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
Because it's still based on you must be
on your current gear,
more than 10 levels, which Legion is 10 levels.
Yeah, I don't like.
So you have to be 11 or higher. Yeah, I I wish they would bring that back. I wish they would bring that back, please.
And how's that going to? Well, no, it would by
So-
Shadowlands then it would be.
In Shadowlands, have you seen the video of? Okay, we're not going to spoil anything. It's not a spoiler. There is a video of somebody doing mount farming on old mounts in the alpha,
Right.
I've not seen this.
No, I haven't. Seen
and they are getting creamed. Like they are getting smoked. Like the player is getting smoked.
They haven't fixed.
They have not applied.
Scaling it.
No. So, and it's alpha. It's okay. Like just, so I watched that. I'm not concerned. I laughed. It was funny. The poor, like just like every boss you could think of, bam, getting smoked. It's like, oh goodness gracious. Because technically they're level 60, right? So
Technically,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah. Well,
53
they are.
max at the moment, yeah.
Oh, is it? I think they went in on a 50 on a 50.
53 is the max you can level to on alpha right now.
Okay. So maybe they were on a 50.
Maybe. Well, I mean, even if they get to 53, they're still over the 10 levels for Legion stuff. Like, I know that when I go into do mythic stuff on my main, which is like a 473 Death Knight, Demon Hunter. I always get those two mixed up because they begin with D. I can solo everything except Gul'dan, but the only one I really have problems with is Conservatist, because if I get RNG'd with the spores, they just kill me because they just stack, and they might not hit me, they might just bounce off each other, but I just turn around and go, does anybody want to come to Mythic Gul'dan and just help me kill, and someone in guild, there's normally one person, that's all I need, one person, and I can't do Mythic Gul'dan because the Mythic phase, I can't nuke the demon down in time because I'm not doing 5 million DPS, like, it's, like, the minute we get the 10 levels above buff, then the mythic stuff will be a problem. Won't be a problem. I can do the one mount in Tomb from Mistress.
Hold on. There's a mounted tomb.
There's a mountain too. Yeah, it's from Mistress. It's one of the sea snake things.
Oh, I got that off LFR.
Yeah, no, I haven't had that drop for me yet, and I can do the dogs on everything except mythic. Because their mythic mechanic just murders me.
So yeah, the dogs I'm running on LFR, and I'm only running on my main, which is 460. But I tried running on my 400 rogue, and I can't get the dogs down. I just can't.
Don't do anything in Legion that isn't on my main, unfortunately, at the moment. Okay. I don't have the gear levels on them. One thing that probably will entertain you, though, it's not that I did this week, it's what we did the previous week, is Mr. Frazley and I had a long-running bet from, like, his channel, his chat, because we were just talking about mounts and everything else. And at the point, I had, like, 14 max-level characters, and only one that I really did anything with. And we made a bet that if I ran Dragon Soul on 18 max-level characters to try and get all tracks in to drop, and it didn't drop, I'd win the bet. Shockingly, I did all tracks in on 18 different characters in one sitting for 4.5 hours, and it didn't drop. So, yeah. And now the next bet is to do Blackrock Foundry full clears with 19 characters. So, because I don't have the skip on everything, and
no,
it's going to take me half an hour to go. So I've got to buckle up for a 9-hour stream, which will probably be my birthday. I think is going to be a 9.5-hour stream.
Are you doing it to get the skip as well?
I'll be doing it. I'm running it now to have the skips.
Okay. So
I've got skips on 3 characters, but
because one thing I discovered is, like that whole thing where the quest starts after you've already killed one of the quest givers.
Yeah.
So okay. So for other people that don't know, if you want to get the skip in there, start at the Iron Maiden wing first, because what that will do is that on the final week, you only need to kill them, and then you've got your skip, and you don't have to do the other 2 wings, because Blast Furnace
is hell on earth.
Do you remember for a brief instant, 4 or 5 days, where Blast Furnace was broken, but
I was
wasn't.
running it as
Okay.
I was running it as mythic content, and it's the encounter that broke my guild back in the day.
Blast Furnace, the two vents were dying with 3 or 4 bombs. Great. It was awesome. It wasn't like instant. Right now it's still 20 bombs because each bomb is still 5% of the health.
Slow.
Like,
It's so slow
on.
compared to heroic and normal. It's so slow.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's terrible.
It's like I was saying to Frazley last week. Like, I've realised, because part of the way I'm making money in the game, because Earthen Ring on EU is an incredibly slow server, so you can't use the auction house to do anything because everybody's trying to sell the same thing and undercut everybody.
What? So I'll be perfectly honest. I am considering moving my gold making to Earthen Ring because I've made more on Earthen Ring because there's less people that I have to compete with.
But I'm on EU, not US.
Oh, okay.
That's
right. Okay, because I'm like, what? No.
So basically,
Sorry.
It's all right. I've just been running all legacy dungeons, all legacy raids as content because everything from like mists upwards gives you thousands, and you make about, like, if you do all cataclysm raids on all difficulties available, like, so only heroics and then LFR and then LFR plus all the difficulties from from siege upwards, you can probably make about 100 grand a week on one toon, including the Legion stuff. Otherwise it's about 60-70k, which is not bad, but it's a lot more time investment than trying to play the auction house. But if you've got a shitty auction house and a dead server, then it's just not worth doing it. But the point I was making is like, there's always one gimmick fight that takes forever in every raid dungeon. Like, it just seems it's so drawn out, just trying to do everything. Like, my brain.
Oh, I completely understand. I am so glad that there's no mount in Tomb at the end, because that fight with the blind phase, I just no. I no.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's annoying because Tomb of Sargeras has some of the best tier sets for pretty much nearly every class. It's really annoying because I'm gonna have to go back in there, and I'm looking forward to probably going in there and spanking some backside, but it's gonna be rough doing Kil'jaeden and Mythic solo. It really is.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So just as a little caveat here, I find I complain about this game a bit, but I'm going to tell you, if I didn't complain, I think that would be the bigger issue because it would mean I didn't care. I love this game. There's a few things that are just but I'm still here.
I had Pete on Frazzlecast, and I jumped in because I said, Pete, you care about this game so much that when you bring up these points, because you want the game to be better, and same with you, Stone. You're not complaining just to complain. You're complaining because you see where it can be better.
My general thesis when I look at everything is, if you think there's a problem, bring up a solution to it.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that you can think of a solution to fix the problem, then present that, and don't just go, this is shit. Just be like, This is shit. This is why it's shit. Here's what I think you can do to fix it. I'm not a coder or a designer or a dev. That I can only go so far, but I'm a man with ideas, and I can present those ideas.
I think we should just kick all the weapons out of Numbergon, and that way we can take over Numbergon. We could be out of your hair. We could be out of Ironforge. You would never have to hear from us again. We could just be all.
Won't be out of my hair, because once you get Numbergon, what's next? That's it. You didn't think about that, did you? Once you get
How did you know that we were planning after Numbergon's return? Oh yeah, Mechatork! You told me that he would not know about that.
Mr. Frazley, what have you been up to this week, other than going through and having a look at even more alpha content? Like, you finally checked out the dungeon at the beginning of the alpha leveling starting zone, didn't you?
Yes, and I actually have been enjoying the new player experience, and I like that it teaches people gameplay. I like that it teaches people their class, and I had this fear because when I first leveled up for Dark Maul. It's not Dire Maul. I call it Dire Maul Citadel last time, but it's Dark Maul Citadel. And when I logged into it, nobody was queuing up for a while, and I logged in again, and I was like, okay, there was somebody at the area waiting also to queue up, but they have a safety net in place that if no one's queuing up with you, you'll go in with NPCs.
I think it's less of a safety net because everybody I've spoken to so far has said that they've only gone in with NPCs.
Oh.
So I think it's intentional that you go in with 2 NPCs. I think the only way that would change is if you had a full pre-made.
Okay, so if you found somebody on the island that you wanted to group up, or you brought friends with you.
Yeah.
And that could keep toxicity down in the beginning. I mean, that could keep trolls away, because I like that the NPCs told me, "Hey, I'm gonna tank this boss. You do the stuff." The healer was like, "Well, be within line of sight." The only thing I don't like is your DPS. And at one point, the fight does not go forward until you pull the boss. I think that's a bug, because otherwise you're teaching DPS that they can pull bosses, and that's not a good precedent.
So that's a valid point in terms of the teaching, you know? I get it.
But I think overall, I love how, like, it's in your face in a good way. But like, it's saying, hey, here's how you move around the game. Here's where you look for all the things that we had to learn or through experience. It's nice that because more games handhold in a way, that this game is finally handholding people up to the point. And I did notice that I got to BFA stuff, and it actually syncs really well from the island that you're on to the BFA. They don't yet have all that content in because it says work in progress. So I think we may even see a new BFA scenario for new players, because like that, or it's just showing there. And when I got to the place to select my area to go to, that was glitched out. So
is it not a simple matter of fact that they just give you the breadcrumb that pops up and then you go and do the Battle for Lordaeron, or skip it if you choose to?
No, it actually even skipped Battle of Lordaeron. It went right from the island directly into where going with Jaina to Coltyrus, at least on the land side. And then you're going in, you're hanging out with Allie's boyfriend Flynn and all that. And Allie said I'm not available, so I'm not.
Allie's got a boyfriend? Allie, I thought Allie was married.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? If that works for her, who am I to judge?
Aren't we all married to the Alliance? Aren't we all married to the Alliance?
Can I ask you, Frazley?
Yes.
Did you get to pick your zone? Because Lita was running it on Horde, and I think she automatically got put into the new zone, and on Alliance she didn't.
So everything that is on the alpha now currently counts as a brand new account. So you have to go through BFA leveling currently.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I understand is once you are after you've done it once, then they'll let you choose where you want to go. And I think they'll even let you choose the starting area you want to go to. Right now, yeah. Horde does not have the starting experience on alpha, so maybe it was sending Lita there. But yeah,
okay.
On the Alliance, it's really good. It's currently bugged between. I tried clicking Dressfar and Stormsong to see if I could rake it, and I did, so I reported it. But the stuff's not there.
I get the feeling, sorry to interrupt, that because they're going to be changing BFA to a linear leveling experience, with the fact that you have to do the continent in order, and then you don't get the island, like the island invasions where you go set up camps on the opposite isle to like 45, but you get all 3 at once. I have a feeling that they're probably going to do the same with Legion and everything else, where they make it a linear. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. And it makes sense, at least looking at it, going to Tierguard Sound. I don't know what the next one is, but it makes sense story-wise why you do that, because Stormsong kind of sets you up for a lot of the stuff heading into
I believe the leveling experience is Tierguard Sound, Drustvar, and then Stormsong Valley.
Okay.
I believe.
And
For Alliance side anyway, I don't know what the Horde stuff is. I haven't heard anything about the Horde side yet, but it would make sense if it was Zuldazar. No, it would make sense if it was Vol'dun, because Vol'dun releases the big bad, and then it would be Nazmir.
I would think
and then
Nazmir
Zuldazar.
and then Zuldazar at the end, because you've got the king, spoiler alert, getting...
Because then you would finish that Zuldazar thing, and then that'll take you straight into the end scenario where you're fighting a... Yeah, that would make sense. I just expect it. And it's the same with Legion. Like, I expect everyone to start in Azuna, because you do the flyover with Khadgar, and then that'll take you into Val'sharah, and then I don't know, because you could say either Azuna or is it Stormheim?
Stormheim
where you
is
go
where
with the
you go
Alliance
in
ships
and pursue Sylvanas. Yes, yeah.
Sylvanas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd either start either the Alliance or the Horde would start in Stormheim, and the other one would start in Azuna. I think, because there's a lot of starting stuff there.
No,
it might just go Stormheim into then Azuna and everything else. I don't know.
Well, I could almost see them leaving Legion the way it is, because you're only doing that once you're a experienced player per se.
That's also true.
Because I get why it makes sense, especially for BFA, because I think it's kind of fixing the story beats of BFA, that it's kind of like following the story. And I think at least what we're describing makes sense to me on moving the story through, because Nazmir is a good middle of the road, teaching about the Loas, and then Zuldazar, I think, is really good heading into the end of the BFA and into the war campaign to then go on to Shadowlands. It seems like a good progression.
I think Nazmir is the worst of the 3 Horde zones personally, but
that's why it's a good middle movie. It's a good Clone Wars. Oh no! Shoot, I just equated Nazmir to Clone Wars. I'm gonna get
wow.
But that means you're also equating either Vol'dun or Zuldazar to Phantom Menace. So
I
which
love
one
the
are you
pod
gonna...
racing, and I can see pod racing on Tatooine, because Vol'dun Tatooine it fits.
My estimation in you goes down with every passing week, Frazley, I have to say.
I can't even.
Have you been up to anything else this week, Mr. Frazley? I know you've been a busy lad. I know you've got some busy stuff that you're planning to do after we're done here as well today.
Fraz's cloak is now at rank 12, so now I got to do 4 lost areas, and I got to thank Cap. Cap's been a great help with running through visions and teaching me stuff. My Vampira Warlock is now 120.
Hey, what up?
And then I'm this is a cool one. My Dwarf Priest, who I rated in Molten Core for the first time, it was level 60 since vanilla, and I logged on this week and got it up to 68. So that one is slowly there. It's weird playing a tune that I've not played in a long time, but now I'm understanding Shadow Spec a lot, and I'm enjoying it. And then other than that, just testing out Shadowlands Bastion, trying it out, seeing where it is. I'm like halfway through the campaign right now, loving Bastion, and I think that I had a pun about bells and
No puns.
Okay.
So I've seen some bits and pieces of Bastion. Like, some people have managed to use a couple of toys and tricks to actually get to the Covenant City so far and have a look around on the alpha. So there's some interesting stuff that's out there that's going to be coming. And obviously the big news about alpha is obviously Torghast has been open, and that looks fun.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun in that place.
After the stream, I'm going to be heading into Torghast and being there for as long as I can stand it right now, because I've heard it's broken at certain, in a good way. It should be at an alpha. That at least some cooldowns are broken, I understand.
No, it works. It works entirely how it's meant to work. Frazley.
Okay, good. You
go through the tower. You go through the tower and you pick up stuff which enhances your character. It's meant to make the class feel broken.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. I needed to hear that, because I was thinking, like...
So, so out of interest, you've got a choice of 3 classes or a demon hunter, 3 cloth classes or a demon hunter to try.
Oh, I can't even go into my warrior.
It's limited classes at the moment, my dude.
Okay, so I'll be rolling in a new tune after this, too. And I'm going to go on...
I mean, you can make a pre-made at 50, can't you? Regardless.
Yeah, I'll be making a new pre-made. Which are the three classes?
It's mage, priest, warlock, or demon hunter.
I could do warlock because I know how that one works.
Fair enough. Well, there you go then. But yeah, no, I've seen a lot of Torghast stuff, and it's pretty fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it. It's a nice little mixture of visions, and I want to say like the fun of the Mage Tower and how it can push. No, what was the thing I said on the other podcast? It looks like it's a mixture of the Withered training scenario and horrific visions.
And unlike Withered, it doesn't stop. I like that they're adding more stuff, and that it sounds like, unlike Islands, there's more to it. It feels different, and that they can even add in new corridors as we go along in the expansion. And before we go further, there's one plea to the community. There is a push going to the community. The Terror Guru comes after you in Torghast. His name is Mr. T. Just a plea for the community.
Yeah, like that's been something that's been talked about, and I just want to see a mod or someone just makes where it's just the same way that like they did for Resident Evil 2 remake, where it's just like the X is going to give it to you just as he gets closer. I just want T's going to give it to you.
Yeah,
and I just want some sort of mix like that just comes on, and it's like as he starts, because basically once you hit the death counter for dying, then you got the countdown timer, and I just want it to start, and as he gets closer, it just ramps up in volume.
Because I loved in Suramar, I had the add-on that always had the Metal Gear Solid sound whenever I got spotted by the.
No, I just wanted to roll up. So it's just a continuous thing. Is first we're gonna rock, then we're gonna roll. Never let it stop. Don't let it go. I just want it smaller, and then just to break into it as he gets closer to you. I just want it. I just need it.
Somebody out there who does add-ons, do it, please. Or DBM.
I'm not an intelligent person, so please make an add-on that I want. That's all I want. I haven't been up to much myself in terms of Warcraft. I haven't done a lot of the legacy farm. I've just literally been doing just the mounts that I need, which is obviously the 4 world bosses, which I still need stuff from. So 4 world. Oh my god, I have to think about this in my head now. 4 world bosses, Dragon Soul, Blackrock Foundry, all 4 difficulties of Nighthold. The 3 difficulties that I can do all 4 difficulties for the boss I need in Tomb, and then the dogs in 3 difficulties out of 4, and that's my world stuff. But otherwise, I've decided that I want to make a solid push to get my characters up to at least 445 on alts, because I can it just means I've got to break my one rule and take them into LFR.
And okay, I was going to ask you, how are you doing that? Because I have a list of things to do for new characters, and Nazjatar intro, so you can get your level 50 heart.
Yep, plus, you have to do that. Yep.
Banthic stuff that you can get. And then the N'Zoth intro, though, is kind of long.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours.
Yeah, even though you can skip stuff, it's like
I don't skip it. I just do it. I never remember where the skips are specifically.
Okay.
So normally the way I'll do it is, it really depends if Time Walking Week is a big thing, because if it's Time Walking Week, then you can buy rings and trinkets for the most part. As Frazley breaks his camera again. Oh. But I've got pretty much a supply of what's it called? The Black Empire gear.
Okay.
Which is obviously beer, and I don't like it because it's not as robust as the Benthic gear, where you can just buy a piece and it's available on, like, for whatever character you want to use it on, instead of breaking it down to cloth, mail, leather, and plate again. It takes up way more space in my bloody bags, in my bank. But I do that. I then have to do Nazjatar. Everything except for the characters I've leveled with the leveling buff has done Nazjatar previously and has a level 35 neck. So I'm a little bit annoyed there that they've upped it again. But what are you going to do? So I do the idea is do Nazjatar and then do the cloak. And by doing the cloak and some of the quests that you can, and emissaries as well, because you want echoes of Ny'alotha as well now. You can normally get about 250 because you have to do a vision as well as I do the full assaults. I just do the bonus objectives, just finish the assault and just move on because it's the quickest way to do things. So you get 200 from your assaults. You get an extra 50 from doing if you complete your first vision. And then you'll get 50 per emissary as well, which is nice. It gets you to like 400, which means that you're a day, maybe 2 away from just finishing, getting your first rank 3 essence. But then, because you've done the questing, you get some for 30 pieces straight off the bat. Do the world boss, you get lucky, you get a 445 item, which my paladin did this week. But then I'm probably just going to take it through LFR Ny'alotha, because that puts you about 420 average, which can essentially just stick you straight into you got access to all the LFRs, and that drops 445 gear. But you have to do LFR, and I hate LFR, but it's easy echoes and Ny'alotha as well.
Okay, so basically, I think the only thing that you're doing that I'm not is the LFR that I've got on my list.
I haven't done it yet, but it's on my list of things to do, and it's just finding the time to do it, because I think this week alone I'm on 3 different podcasts, including this one, and I've got editing, and I'm preparing for the charity stream in June and getting all the stuff for that together. So it's just fine. Amazingly, under lockdown, where we're at home, is the time where I don't have anything to actually find time to play the game, and it's quite baffling. But yeah, we're in that point where I was kind of hoping that the XP buff wasn't going to get extended, because I felt with the XP buff already, I felt like I was playing to get personal goals done. Like with the advent of Heritage Armor, I've wanted to get one of every race done. So with the XP buff, I've already done my Horde Tauren Paladin, I've done a normal Dwarf, I've done a Gnome, just because I don't have them at max level and they've got heritage stuff for them. You know,
Frazley just lost his mind.
Of course he did. Like, I dislike gnomes in general. Like, gnomes and dwarves, I dislike them, but their heritage armor...
What?
Their heritage armor...
Did you just include dwarves in with
They're too
gnomes?
small. They're too... Like, I leveled
Are you kidding?
I leveled a gnome warrior, and...
Dark Iron dwarves are the master race. I'm just,
Why?
It's not why, it's just they are. There is no explanation, just cuz.
As I stated on Girls Gone WoW, Draenei is the master race because of that booty and that sex tail.
Well, the booty.
Okay, I can give you that. Yes.
Look, I've literally got... Oh no, I've done my Void Elf Monk as well. So I've got 3 races left to do on Alliance side, and that is Dark Iron, Cold Tyran, and Mechanome. And if I get those 3 done this expansion, I'll be happy. But I would like to try and get one of each of the Horde races up as well, and I've got to do everything except Blood Elf, Nightborn, and Tauren. So there's lots to do, but it's about, do I really want to spend my life just leveling characters?
Which I actually...
in the long run, yes, because it's good for mount farming.
Yes. Like that whole XP buff, okay. I was really happy that it was there, because wow, I can level up some more characters to farm mist bosses. Right? Cool. But I was a little bit worried, not worried, but I was kind of glad that they did make it go longer. However, I was thinking that, if they cut it off, great, because then I can then focus on some other stuff in WoW. But now that it's not cut off, now I don't feel that pressure to level those last few tunes that I still have, right? So it's I'm glad for it.
Plus apparently in Shadowlands, like, you've got to take this with a pinch of salt, because Des Mephisto, who's been literally quoted nearly everywhere between Polygon and Icy Veins and everywhere, he made a post on Reddit that he leveled to did the 10 to 50, 10 to 50 on the alpha with no heirlooms, and there's obviously no XP buff there. But doing his normal quest and go grind all the mobs, he did it in 12 hours, which is approximately what it is now with heirlooms and XP potion and the 100% bonus.
Yeah, so
that's not horrible.
No, and especially because once Shadowland comes out, we're all going to be working on our mains for a little while and getting our ults leveled up. So it's nice. It's almost like an extended pre-patch of the leveling mechanic, minus the fancy goodness that comes with the other systems.
Kind of. I mean, for the benefit of everything, they've added in a 100% rep buff, which, for argument's sake, probably should have come in beforehand. The only other side is it comes with the massive caveat that it's only Legion, it's only BFA reps, and it doesn't include 8.3 reps.
But
so
there's a Paragon box mount from Ny'alotha. They said that they'd never add another mount into one of those boxes, and then they did.
Yep. And then they did.
And the rep gains there suck compared to
because the emissary doesn't come out as often. Yeah, it's bad. I've had so many Paragon boxes from there and not got it, but it's going to give me a reason to go back and do the Legion Paragons as well. Because I mentioned it because obviously the idealism with the rep buff is to go, everybody can unlock their allied races.
Flying, right? Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, because if they wanted it for flying as well, why doesn't it affect Warlords reps? Because there are people like Mr. Frazley who don't have Pathfinder in Warlords.
No, I do. Lucas doesn't have Pathfinder in Warlords or Legion. I'm not trying to call him out.
I like how Mr. Frazley has got the best tech of all of us, and yet he has a camera that doesn't work.
It's the internet. Blame my stupid connection.
This is.
Well, he looks fantastic on Squadcast. Nice and smooth.
I know.
So I would say. So here's a thought that I have for we have our legacy loot rules. What if they gave us legacy rep rules?
How would that work?
Kind of give it 50% for any rep that's below the current last two expansions. So like, and because then that way you could go farm Paragons forever. Because give people a reason to go back to the old zones. Because right now, if you go there, you're going to be spending.
I mean, there's two systems currently in the game that they could use to improve rep, which we've talked about previously. One is the Mr. Pandaria one, which I prefer, because it's once you're exalted with a character, you can buy something which affects your entire account, so you can get a dungeon, you can boost your first dungeon run of the day, and you can get some rep there from there. But there's also the tabards from Wrath, which is also not horrible.
Yeah, and I'd be fine with that, and even make that one expanded, that you can not just doing stuff, but like if you wear that tabard while doing world quests of an old expansion, then you will be able to get rep for whatever faction you're wearing that tabard for, as long as it's not the latest two. I could see the cutoff being there.
The big problem is that the world quests in Legion have already had a rep buff as well, and it's not something that not a lot of people notice, is that they put in a rep buff. I think it was in BFA pre-patch, or it might have been slightly before, whereas each like difficulty in air quotes has a different rep gain. So your basic world quest gives you 50, your blue ones which aren't elite give 75, your blue elites give you 100, and then your epic ones give you 150.
I was not aware of that.
I mean, I've mentioned it like 5 times to you on this cast alone, Frazley, so...
I'm a gnome, short memory.
Sure. I mean, there's several ways. Like, I would have accepted just a rep buff in Legion for World Quest, but the 100% rep buff is not bad. It's slightly annoying that it doesn't affect 8.3 reps, because I would have been more inclined to go and do the quests there. At the moment, when it comes to like the 8.3 reps on my main and even my ults, I'm literally just doing the bonus objectives for a box and disappearing. It's not engaging down there. I've done it so often to hit exalted as soon as I could just to have it done, and I got out of there.
Which is why I think its focus is Legion and BFA, that and to get Pathfinders people who have not got it from the last two expansions.
I think the objective there is to allow people to unlock allied races more than it is anything else, and that's why we've got the XP buff. again, if they were thinking about Pathfinder, it would have affected Warlords as well.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. I 100% agree. I never even thought of races. I just first thought was Pathfinder. Yeah.
I mean, I just turned around yesterday on GGW and I said, I already have allied races unlocked on everything. I have Pathfinder. The biggest boost this is going to give me is Paragons.
Yeah.
Like, because I think I miss all of the Legion Paragon mounts. And
Same.
I obviously missed the Nashtar Paragon mount, so...
I need 3 more. I need Ferondis, Dreamweavers, Nightfallen. I have the 3 in the army. I have Valorjar and High Mountain. So I'm almost there. Those damn boxes.
And there are toys in the BFA ones, like there's.
Oh, I don't care about the toys. I don't care about the toys in the pets.
It's nice. I already have enough. I already have enough toys to get the mount that's available from it. You
Just
know,
give me the mount.
Like when it comes to pets, like I can get all of the pet rewards by going out and doing the battles for pets. You know, like it's the mounts that I want, and it's just going to be a lot of content that I'm going to have to do, and I'm probably just going to be on daily, and I'll have world quests bleeding from my eyes.
Honestly, I tried to do that for about a week, where I did every world quest every day to get the rep to get more boxes, and I burned out. And now what I do is on one character only, I only do the emissary for that zone, and I wipe out that whole zone. I do every quest for it, and that's it. And I found that's been a better balance for my playing time and playing other stuff, right? Because I can't just focus on Legion boxes, right? I did go insane.
So I mean, the one time I've done more than just a standard emissary is when I was trying to find a good gold making balance. Before I decided to settle on legacy raids because it's something I can do in my own time. I just went around and did anything which I could gain gold of. So world quests which give flat gold, world quests which give items to sell, because raw gold is just an easy way to do it. But even still, like what I used to call my my Azeroth World Tour, when I was still farming, when we were all still farming just the neck to get to 80 or whatever the cap was during that patch, it's 40 minutes to an hour of just going around all of BFA, just getting as much Azeroth as you can. And it's a lot of time to devote to that sort of thing, you know? And plus the fact that stuff doesn't Titan Forge anymore, it's not worth the occasional chance to do it.
See, can I make a comment about Titan Forging and War Forging going away?
Yeah, go nuts. Yeah, go nuts.
I know. I am not even close to being a end raider, like an end game raider. I mean, I love to raid. We do heroic raiding, and we're about halfway through current raid. So a lot of people didn't like Titan Forging and War Forging because they said that they felt that they had to get them. And so I was like, you know what? I liked it because I've never been that guy that, I don't have the Titan Forge version of this. You know what? For me, when it bumped up, that was cool. But I wasn't running it to get those, right?
Yeah, so when it comes to War Forging and Titan Forging, it was trying to answer the question of how can we keep our players engaged with current content in raids? Like, past them just clearing it once for story, or like, you know, getting to the certain point, because there's always the incentive that loot will drop that's a higher Titan Forge and people will go for it. And when we were in Mists, when they first introduced it, it was alright because you could see the loot that had actually dropped. But now we're in a point where everything is personal and you can't see the loot that drops for the raid as a total and actually, you know, make a play. And the amount of times that I alone have gone through, and I'll take Ny'alotha because it's the most mythic, it's the most recent one, because I haven't done mythic raiding since warlords, you know, and I only do heroic. So I was just like, cool. If something drops, then yeah, cool. But Ny'alotha, as an example, there are raids that I've just gone through weekly, not had anything drop at all. Like an entire raid of 12 bosses where nothing's dropped, maybe one thing, and it's garbage because you see somebody else in your raid that just gets all the many drops. So now you add Titan forging onto something like that, where if you as a personal drop where you don't get anything in a single run, even if you're unlucky with your coins or something like that, and you see the one person that's already got 5 pieces get another piece which is Titan forged. Like at least if it dropped as access to everybody, everybody's got a chance to get it.
Yeah.
But then you just it's layers of stuff on top of layers, and that's what made it like I could deal with Titan forging as a concept when everybody could get a chance of piece of loot. But at this point where loot is so personal these days, to try and stop master loot thievery, which is probably an even smaller amount of numbers that happens than it does for people that complete mythic raids, you know.
Yeah,
I honestly don't see it, and it's so bad.
The one thing I didn't really like about, well, I don't like about our current loot system is you can't trade a piece of gear. One, if it's bonus rolled. Why? Why not? Why not? Okay? I've used my roll. I got the loot. We're all in the same raid together. Why not? Two, you can't trade a piece of gear if it's higher than your currently equipped piece in that section, even though it may not be good for you.
Yeah.
So, and I get that they don't want people doing raids to farm gear for one specific but is that really a problem that's breaking the game? Is it? Like, is it really that bad?
Okay.
I just...
Go on, Frazley. You've got a question you want to say here.
Well, no, I was thinking, what if a compromise, and this might not work for like pugs, but I could see in raids, because I could even like Allie bring up in chat wanting to trade stuff. What if they made it where if you chose that you wanted to put this piece up for roll, people could then need on it. I say get rid of greed.
I mean, we've got so many imposed systems upon us as players which don't necessarily need to be there. Like, I think if you're in a completely pre-made group, not using the group finder to recruit people or anything else, you should have the option for master loot to be there.
Yeah.
And you should be able to trade people within your group.
With the caveat that Blizzard will not help with any master loot, because I see that's probably where they don't want to, they don't want to get in the middle of drama. They're like, and I think that's one reason why they went to getting rid of it is...
That's not a story I've ever heard about people going to Blizzard with tickets because Master Loot's been... Like, the only stories I've heard about Master Loot is where people have stolen stuff, and that's where the Blizzard rule has been applied, that it depends on the rules of the raid leader that they're setting. If they've said they're going to have Master Loot and nothing else, they haven't said who it's going to go to or anything's reserved, there might be something they can do.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like, if it's a complete pre-made,
yeah,
outside of LFR and outside of using the group finder to pick up members, I'd much rather have a master loot system in the game where me and my friends, and I'm talking about for fucking Mythic Plus as well. I hate the system in Mythic Plus where we get to the end and there's nothing there. I hate running dungeons and there's no loot per boss for everybody. It's garbage. And I say that as someone whose luck is literal garbage. Literal garbage in this game. Like, taking the mount runs away from everything and not seeing loot drop is one of the worst things in this game.
I don't run Mythic Plus because I find I'm not looting. And I know that's the point of it. You don't loot, you get the stuff at the end. Yeah, I get that. I like to loot. I don't like the clock is ticking down with a number saying 10 seconds left, 5 seconds left, and you got to go. I do like visions. Even though it's technically a clock, but I can control that bar, right? I can control that bar. I can make it go higher. I can slow it down. I control that. With a clock, I do not control that. It's a inexorable countdown, and it stresses me out, man. I'm not a Mythic
Torghast
Plus
then.
fan. Sorry?
You'll probably enjoy Torghast then. The only thing
I hope so.
as it stands on Alpha, literally the only thing that counts as a timer essentially is the amount of deaths you can have, which is
Okay.
it's not bad. Like it's like you can have as many characters that are in your group +2 before the big bad starts chasing you on a floor, essentially. And as far as I'm aware, those death tallies are per floor rather than for the run, which I think is decent. Torghast looks fun. I get it. In terms of Mythic Plus, I get it. They've made dungeons replayable. The biggest thing I hate about the Mythic Plus system is that I'm still running the same dungeons at the end of the expansion as I am at the beginning of the expansion. The only time I really ever enjoyed that was the challenge mode system because it scaled your gear down and it was a challenge. Now it's good, but currently, and I like the way that because Titanforge is removed, it makes Mythic Plus feel more rewarding, that I can get gear based on the amount of skill that I have, and I say skill, the amount of gear my character has with my party that we can do to, get a 15 plus in time for a decent bit of gear at the end of the week. But I hate how they try to make gear and make stuff re-accessible for stuff, and that goes back to the Titanforger thing. Titanforging was a way for them to make raids more appealing once it was done on the first week for story, to get you to go back in to try and get higher levels of gear. And dungeons with the Mythic Plus system is running the same dungeon for a higher item level bit of gear at a higher difficulty. There are several Mythic Plus changes I could apply. One, if you get it in time, there's a piece of loot in there for everybody. The amount of times I've seen 4 out of 5 people get a piece of loot is ridiculous for completing in time. Yeah. Generally, I'm that person.
Really? I thought everybody does get a piece of loot when you open that last chest
Nope.
when you open the
so
chest.
It's if my memory recalls something, you have a base thing of getting it in time of so many people, and then it's like however faster you do it. Because what the system used to be is you had the multiple chest system. So gold, silver, bronze, you had 3 boxes. And then they removed that to be there's 1 box at the end. But now, because of the personal loot system, one person's guaranteed a bit of loot, and then how fast you get it depends on how many bits of gear you do. So how many bits of gear you get. So yeah, not everybody's guaranteed to get a piece of gear in Mythic Plus.
Okay, but they are getting gold or something, right? Like they're still getting something.
Everybody gets gold. Everybody gets Azeroth, but the gear not everybody gets.
And everybody gets an upgraded key.
But it depends if they do it in time, Frazley. If they don't do it in time, it degrades.
I will tell you, if I ran a Mythic... Okay, I think anytime I've ever run a Mythic Plus, which will tell you how many times I've actually done this, I've always gotten a piece of gear. Now, that tells you how much I've done it. Not a lot. If I were to run Mythic Plus and not get a piece of gear, why did I waste my time?
That's precisely my point, and it's precisely my anger with the personal loot system as it stands. Running 12 bosses in Ny'alotha, which is about a 2-hour jaunt on heroic if you've got it on farm. 2 hours at least, if you don't make a mistake. And to do 12 bosses and get 1, maybe 2 pieces of gear, it's pretty shit. Because some bosses you'll get 5 bits of gear spread out over the raid, which is cool, which is pretty much what it would be if you ran a boss like that in an old legacy dungeon, you know? I mean, you should know running legacy bosses you'll get between 5 to 7 pieces of loot drop. But some bosses you'll get 1, maybe 2 pieces. And that's bad. Because there's no timers on... Well, I mean, the only timer there is in a raid is the enrage timer. And if you've got stuff on farm, then there's no enrage timer because you've beat it all and you can beat it all repeatedly. It's such a horrible system that needs to change. Like, the loot dropping system needs to change to make it fun. And if Torghast is an element of a step forward where the game is going to be fun for the player, then I'll have more fun stuff, please. You know? Anyway, that's enough ragging on Blizzard, I think, today.
Sorry. Sorry,
it's not just you. We're all ragging on it. I'm sure.
Sorry.
Blizzard do good. They really do. But a lot of things need to change, and especially the loot system.
Well, like we said, if we didn't care, we wouldn't be passionate about how we feel.
Yeah. It's why I'm like free number gun
Right?
and
Free number gun. Yikes.
Press, why do I get the feeling at whatever the next BlizzCon tends to be that you can be there, you're going to be outside the front door with the normal protesters with a sign that just says free Nomergon.
Oh, I will be. I'll be there. I mean, you may overlook me because I'll probably have like a short sign and stuff like that.
Every sign will look short next to how tall you are.
Yeah, that is true.
Anyway, we've had enough camera issues and everything else, and we've talked long enough for everybody's
Sorry.
time. Thank you, everybody who has joined us live. And Mr. Stone, if they couldn't want to find you around the internet, whereabouts would they be able to find you, my
I
friend?
don't know why you would, but if you want to, and I'm going to say sorry beforehand because you're going to see a lot of nonsense. Basically, my primary source of contact is Twitter at STONEGRASP, because everybody that has a single stone loves to get grasped too. Anyways,
That's really bad.
as
Worse than a Frazley pun.
That's terrible.
That's
As well as pretty much all my links and all that stuff and everything like Wrestling, Warcraft. I have random generator stuff for World of Warcraft in case you don't know what character you want to do. And I've actually built a thing to randomly pick a expansion for you to level in the next expansion.
Ooh.
You can find that on my website at Stonegrasp.com. That's it.
brilliant.
So everything there.
Everything there. As always, his has been above his head the entirety of the podcast, as well as his name, Mr. Frazley. After ongoing camera issues, if they want to see more of your blurry pixelness, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Frazlytastic, where I share puns. Like today was about hair. Yesterday was about what tomorrow's date is. So you can use your math to figure out what tomorrow's date is. And Stone, please tell me that you're streaming tomorrow. It's your day. And you can find me at gnomepodcast.com. Oh, I get it. It doesn't make as much sense because we put the month before the date here in the United States. And you can find me on Twitch at gnome.live.
I completely understand the joke you're going for. It's just because you're American, you're wrong. And it should always be day, month, year.
Well, you know what? Honestly, like when I say it, I do month, day, year. But when I document, year, month, day. Because big, middle, small. Anyways, yes, 420. Here is a fun fact for you. Very sorry. Fun fact for you. On April the 20th, Hitler was born.
Oh.
What a joke. Jesus
So
Christ.
Think about that when you have a little toke.
If that is your persuasion, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, you can find my main account on Twitter at Titans Creed. If you want just the videos and the gaming and the podcast content that I do, you can follow at Gaming Phoenix. Otherwise, you can follow this podcast live at twitch.tv/Project Phoenix Productions, or you can join me on YouTube, where you'll see the VOD of this at youtube.com/Project Phoenix Productions, and available on all good podcast catchers every Wednesday. That's the day. I go live on Sunday and I put out on Wednesday. That's otherwise, guys, I've got a lot of content from you coming out this week. We're still catching up on our Let's Race content. We've got both WrestleMania podcasts coming out for day 1 and day 2
What?
on Last Minute Kickout. Oh yeah, I do a
wrestle. What? Whoa, dude. Cool.
I didn't say that I enjoyed all your plastic men behind you for no reason. And we're gearing up for this year's charity stream in June. There'll be more information for that as it comes round. Yes, we're also coming up to a year of stories around Azeroth in, I believe, 3 weeks, guys. Frazley and I have got some guests coming up over the next couple of weeks, but that episode 51 is going to be just the two of us as we reminisce on the last year of the podcast.
I cannot believe how fast that is gone. It's just like,
yes, it's gone. It's happened.
yeah,
You've only missed 2 episodes. 'Cause
Yeah.
we had Christmas. How dare you celebrate holidays?
oh,
He was just short by 2 episodes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So 51 episodes, a year worth of me, and then less than a year of Frazley, if you can take it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us live. If you haven't caught us live, you've missed Frazley's camera cutting out every couple of minutes. Yeah, it's not really much. You can still join us in the video form and the audio form. Otherwise, thank you very much to Mr. Frazley as always, and Stone, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very, very much. I had fun.
It's been a lot of fun. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time. But as Mr. Frazley always likes to say,
Be awesome. And if you can't be awesome, at least be a gnome.